Hey everyone, it's Tracy here. Today I am going to show you a process video of how I put together a Project Life spread using the Studio Calico Wink Wink kits. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you sort of how I found a good way of using the Block Walla stamp that came in the Project Life kit. I had a little bit of difficulty with it to begin with. I tried using an ink pad and that didn't work. So then I followed the instructions and used some paint. So I saw on somewhere that people said that using a computer mouse pad worked because it has a surface that's sort of squishy. So trying to stamp on just a hard surface, you're not going to get a very good impression. So I will show you one here. I'm just using the packaging that the stamp came in and just a foam brush and just some black paint, acrylic paint from Michaels. So I just sort of took a decent amount of paint and I just covered over the whole surface, kind of sponging it a little bit and then just sort of dragging it. It's kind of hard to see because of course I'm using black paint, but it is kind of pooled a little bit on the sides, so I just try and flatten that a little bit. So now if you were to try and do it on a hard surface like this and you press down, see your impression isn't really that great. But if you try it again on the computer mouse pad, and I apologize for all the Sophie hair that is covering my mouse pad. Those with animals know that the hair seems to get everywhere, including on top of your workspace. So I'll just sponge around this again and just kind of make sure that everything is covered there. So I'll just try one more time on here. See, the impression is a lot better, and I kind of dragged a bit too much on the star there, but as you can see, the impression is pretty good when you use a spongy surface. So I'm going to go ahead and actually stamp one of those out now so it will have time to dry. Make sure I don't have paint all over my hands. So I really liked the bright colors in this kit. There's lots of reds and blues and yellows and even some pink, which of course makes me happy. I think I'll use that one. That teacup's really cute. Yeah. So let's try this. I always get a little bit nervous when I actually go to use a card, which I'm sure you all can relate to. So fingers crossed that I can get a half decent impression on my card here, otherwise I'll be using up a new one. Okay, let's not drag. That was the problem before. So let's just kind of make sure you just sort of sponge it on. Okay. Let's get that star. Let's do it. Moment of truth. Ah, yes. Okay, that makes me happy. I was really afraid that was not going to work. So as you can see here, using the stamp pad, or sorry, I don't know why I keep calling it a stamp pad. Using the mouse pad got a really great impression on that. So I'm just going to throw this off to the side. Well, not throw it, but you get me. Just gonna throw this over here out of the way. Actually, I'm just gonna take that right off of here because with my luck, I'll get my hand in it. So because there's not too much paint on here, hopefully in a little bit that'll be all nice and dry, and then I can write in the day and the month and, well, the year, and slip that into a pocket. So just gonna put that off to the side. So I know I've had some questions about how I do my full page photos. So I print my photos at home, and I find that that makes it a lot easier when I need to go and have certain sizes, or well, it's convenient to be able to print at home. So on the back side here, I have a full photo of my brother and I at Disneyland. And so for the next one, I am going to do another full photo, but this time it's a selfie. So this is how I print them. Normally I would have more pictures on this side, but I didn't have any that I wanted to use at the time of printing this one, so I just left this part blank. But what I'll do is I cut right along here, and I'll save this and I'll trim it down so I can use it as, might be able to get, no I won't, I can only get one, I think, a 4x6, and then I'll run that through my printer so I don't waste up the ink. So this is how I print it. So I've got the full 8x9 inch picture on here on this 8.5 by 11, and then I have a 4x9 strip on the bottom here. What I do sometimes in Photoshop is I will sort of do light faint lines across here, just so I know that the picture will be cropped properly to fit into the pockets. Hopefully that makes sense. I hate when I have a picture and it gets oddly broken up in the pockets, so I try and make sure that when I'm in Photoshop, I make sure that everything will sort of fit nicely and you won't get, you know, half your face chopped off or whatnot. And then so for the rest of my pictures here, again, I've printed them just on a 8.5 by 11. I'm using Staples brand photo paper. It's just matte paper. It's actually double-sided, which is kind of funny. I had some issues with my printer and it wasn't printing all my images properly, and so I just saved the photo paper and I printed it on the other side, and so that worked out pretty well. And for normally I don't print on both sides, obviously, because that would be very difficult to get them to fit into the pockets. But yeah, so then I've got a 4x6 here, I've got two 3x4s, and then I have a 3x8, which will get split up into 2 pockets. So I do really like to have, you know, larger sized images spread over a couple of pockets. So I'll show you how I cut this down, and I will move just this out of the way. Okay, so let's start with this one because it's a little bit easier. So I just line it up, cut it out. And I just keep doing that. So that piece of photo paper I'll save and cut that down when I need it. I'm not going to cut it down right now. Okay. So now I just go and I mark here 3, and then I cut. This would be really embarrassing if I messed this up, but fingers crossed I can do it properly. That is why having the faint lines really helps sometimes. Want to make sure, it's kind of hard when you got a light photo on the white paper. Okay, so because this page configuration is all 3x4s, I know that I can just go ahead and cut everything 3x4. If I were doing it on this side, I've got a 4x6 here, so I would want to make sure that I don't cut that as that top corner as a 3x4, which I have done in the past, but I just taped it up and Bob's your uncle. cut out. So I'm gonna work on the large picture first, and you just kind of piece it together like it's a puzzle. In one of my other spreads where I did a large photo, I accidentally had a picture turned one picture was turned upside down. That was kind of embarrassing. I didn't even catch that. So thank you for whoever it was that pointed that out to me. Okay. Right, so we gotta do it. That would help if I had it the right way. Okay, so I start along the top, and you see, I find that this side is often much smaller than these other ones, so I'm going to have to, I'm gonna have to cut some of these, trim these down just a little bit, because you see they're kind of snug in these pockets. So I don't really measure it out, but I always make sure I take it along the outside just so it doesn't distort the picture. So I just kind of take a little chunk off, and hopefully that's enough. There we go. So then I know that this one is going to need a little bit taken off as well. And this one will too. So you see it's just a little strip here that I take off the outside, and that's just enough that it will fit into the page, the pocket, hopefully. So now that this is all done, I'm just going to tuck this off to the side, and then I'm going to work on the right hand side of the spread. So I just like to lay my photos out. So I know that this one will be going in here. I like to do my photos, and then once I get that in, I find which cards I want to use, and then I embellish last. Watching my process video on how I put my Project Life spread together from start to finish. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and I will be sure to get back to you. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.